That's crazy. I think they came ready to play, but at the same time, as the theme has been win at the right pace.
Hey friends, it's TexAgs Rewind presented by our good friends at Specs. And of course, this is the Rollo Insurance Studio. We actually had a fun show. It was interesting. The baseball bunch, Nick, different kind of vibe today. Or actually, it was two baseball dudes in one show.
Yeah, two baseball dudes, one desk, and they definitely...
Why are people laughing?
I don't know. A little different vibe, but I think their point was taken well. It's just, hey, that you would have liked a win or two in Hoover, but guess what? You get to come home, you get to rest up for your regional that's coming up next week.
Luke Evangelist, what was your favorite part of the show?
Has to be Daylan Holt.
Has to be?
He can hit the ball a mile.
Still? He looked young still.
Probably. He definitely could still.
47, 48, that's young, all right?
Yeah.
Just go ahead and be honest. I know most 47 and 48-year-olds can beat people in basketball and baseball. Let's just go ahead and be honest about that.
My favorite part of the show was David welcoming Terry Bussey to College Station. My favorite part.
Can you put that, right here? So, welcome, Terry. Welcome, Terry. All right, my favorite part of the show was all that stuff. But Dan Murphy breaking down where college football and college athletics is headed from ESPN. That was a really good conversation. We had Daylan Holt, as he mentioned, and we got a bunch of text messages. But we're not going to hear any of those on the Rewind. Just hear the good stuff.
My question to you is, who's representing the athletes in all this? Have I missed something?
So it's a good question. I mean, so technically, right, the guys that are filing this lawsuit, the plaintiff's lawyers, Steve Berman and Jeffrey Kessler, are the representatives of the athletes. They've been negotiating on their behalf. They sued on behalf of three named athletes, a college swimmer, a women's basketball player, and a former Illinois football player. But then they were granted class action status, which means they represented the interests of every Division I athlete during that time frame that you just mentioned. So they're the ones that are advocating on their behalf. However, it's not like they're polling every football player and every basketball player out there in order to reach this. They're not all sitting at the table during these negotiations. So there are certainly groups out there right now that feel like moving forward, athletes still need a bigger voice and still need to be able at the table and be part of negotiations. And while this settlement is a pretty big step forward to setting up the framework for the future, it does not eliminate the possibility that athletes might at some point have something that looks like a players' association and be able to bargain for potentially even more than what this settlement opens the door for.
And why would this settlement date back to 2016 athletes? Why do the 2015 athletes feel like they get hosed?
Yeah, it's a tough deadline there for some folks, I'm sure. So this lawsuit, the settlement that this case, the big case that this lawsuit settles, basically said that the NCAA was illegally restricting the way that college athletes were able to make money from their name, image, and likeness. Mm-hmm. And the lawsuit was filed in 2020. And just the way the court system works, there's a statute of limitations on how far back you can sue for lost money. And so that statute of limitations is 4 years. So you start the clock at 2020 and you go back 4 years, and that's where they get that deadline, which feels a little bit arbitrary, but that's why it's there.
Thanks for clarifying that.
I'm pretty confident in what Shane Sadeo provides you, whether as a starter, as a middle to long relief guy out of the bullpen. He's been an effective weapon for this team all year long. And, if he does get the start in game one, I feel just as confident as I would in Ryan Prager starting against a 2-seed.
And Nathan Detmer started game 2 against Lafayette.
A couple of texts coming in. PG Ag and King Oaks. The team looked a little worn down. Getting rest at home will help. Thoughts?
Yeah, rest can only help you for sure. I feel like, and I saw a lot of this in yesterday's game thread, a lot of people jumping to the conclusion that they're worn out or they're flat based on the first inning and a half, the results of those at-bats. That's crazy. I think they came ready to play, but at the same time, as the theme has been win at the right pace. And I think the team knows that they didn't truly have much to play for outside of winning the SEC tournament, which, as Bronny will tell you, you always care about winning. And if there's a trophy to be won, if there's hardware to be won, they always want to go out and get it and give it their best shot. But once it became clear that was going to take a lot out of them, I think they were okay getting back home and getting to sleep in their own beds and getting to rest up for the biggest week of the year.
Rest or routine?
So this is funny. Back-to-back texts about the same thing. Mike says, hey, baseball group, give this to Schloss. It's so easy to use. Just flip it. It's a picture of a light switch. Followed by Bob in Kentucky. Light switch is flipped at home next week. And
that's what I'm saying. I think they're going to try to have as routine, having a day off today. I think they're going to try to have as much routine on Saturday and Sunday as they normally would have had. Because
Kay, I know you wrote a lot about the rivalry, being renewed. Just some thoughts that you heard from the players, from Trisha. I mean, obviously, this is more than a rivalry. This is for a chance to get to the College World Series, but it means something to them, right?
Yeah, both players, Texas and A&M side, were both asked about, how familiar with the rivalry are, and they definitely, even on the Texas side, they said we grew up knowing what it was. Coco and Emily were asked if they were recruited by Texas, and they kind of had a look of disgust a little bit on their face. They definitely know what this rivalry is. They know what it means. And also they're familiar playing here. They went down here in the Austin Regional last year, lost 11-5. So kind of stung. That was Trisha Ford's first season, and both Coco and Emily were on that squad. So there's definitely, it is Texas. So there's a level of competition there, but also the team that sent you home last year, there's going to be even more added pressure and expectation to get things done this weekend.
I always say that A&M should be good in everything. Yeah. And Texas should be good in everything. They have the same geographical advantages and everything. So Texas and A&M should be playing, just probably should be playing a week later.
Yep.
Always be playing in national championship type situations instead of trying to get to the national championship.
Well, and look, I think they were screwed. They were the 16 seed, and they're taking on.
There's no way they should have been the 16th.
No.
That's, again, don't mind playing Texas if it's organic. In fact, look forward to it. But when it's the NCAA gerrymandering it just to set up a matchup that they shouldn't be doing it that way.
So I'll ask you, you played the game at the highest level, right? You are in the history of A&M sports forever. Should we be concerned, because we had the baseball guys on earlier, that they're not too concerned about the recent play that we've seen from A&M baseball? How much can we read into the way they finished in Hoover, even though they're going to be a top 5 national seed, considering the last couple of series leading up to Hoover?
I thought they did a really good job in the Arkansas series. Ole Miss was a little disappointing. I thought that they should have done a better job of there. But, the way that baseball is, you just got to be. It's monotonous. It's every single day. You got to stay eddy. Stay even. You can't be on the highs and lows of a roller coaster. So if you look at some of the things that are going on, you see guys hitting the ball hard just right at everybody. Braden Montgomery has hit 5 or 6 balls just on a line, and it's been a one-hop right at the second baseman or into the shift. So you're seeing a lot of that. So whenever that stuff comes, you just have to keep riding it out and just keep doing what you're doing.
Talking to Daylan Holt here on TexAgs Radio. Have you had any interactions or anything you can share with Jace Lavalette?
I was down for the Vandy game, and we went down to the locker room afterwards, and I got to talk to him for a brief second. That's basically my only interaction with him so far. So it was pretty neat for me. Being the old guy. I remember being there in '99, and the '78 team walks in. You're like, oh my gosh, these guys are old. And hey, that's me. How you doing? But just talked to him real briefly and said, congratulations on the season that you're having, and even last year as well. And you're going to walk into the career home run record. So congratulations on that, and good luck on the single season. And it's a very difficult task. Whenever you really start to think about it, I hit 34 in 70 games. That's one every other game. Jace is 28 in 57 games. He's right at it. So, it's very much a possibility. It just depends on how far they can go.
Well, this has been a fun rewind. Evangelist, tell the people.
First, you're going to welcome Terry Bussey. Second, you're going to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notifications for all TexAgs content. And follow TexAgs on all social medias. And then after you've done that, go to Terry Bussey's social media and say welcome.
In the chat. Welcome
to
Terry
A&M.
Bussey.
Hey, can we do this? I have the ability to do this. I'll give out 1 free bag of TexAgs coffee to the
third.
No.
Set the bars. You gotta set it right.
No, we're setting the bar high. Okay.
What are you thinking?
37th person.
Okay.
37th person to say, welcome, Terry.
What if it's the same person who comments 37 times?
Okay.
That's fair. You can
okay,
do that.
hold on.
That's legal.
How about this? I won't give anything away. Just say hi, Terry. All right, because I don't know what's legal or not on the list. So I strike that from the record, but just everybody say welcome, Terry, please.